you say 0. Damn, there it is. Oh, it's all dark. Why are we so dark? Hello, video feeds, come through. Oh, I'm the last one. There we go.
Maybe my pixels or the amount of pixels is less.
Oh, maybe. Anyways,
Upload.
we're back. FastTrack is back to the
Fast
track.
crack.
Fast crack.
We're fast.
Feedback Fridays. Well, not that fast.
I think we're faster than we usually are, but it's still slow.
Yes. Anyways,
But,
we're back. Fast Track Feedback Fridays. We give you feedback on your music, newsflash. That's probably why you're here.
Yep.
So, I don't think we have anybody on yet, it seems like. But if you have music, submit it.
Oh,
and
shit.
if we see anybody come in, then we'll tell you again to do it. What oh shit.
Oh, I don't have the buttons with me.
Uh-oh. I think your mic just changed. Oh, it's because you put it down.
Yeah, I gotta type it like a Neanderthal. So.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I
Cool.
put my mic between my legs like this.
Mic stand.
Yeah. It's a struggle.
Nice. All right. Well, we got the link in the chat, and we got one submission, which is our friend Jokerhead.
Eat.
So we might as well get into it.
Okay.
Cool.
And let's see. This is the coveted Ultraviolence. Long time coming with this track.
Oh boy, this is like
But
the
it's also
third time,
shorter.
fourth time you've heard it now.
I think so, yeah. But this could be the final version. He wants to get rid of it. I mean, not get rid of it. He wants it to be done. So
It's Ultraviolence 7,000. Wow,
shorter version.
crazy.
Hey guys, sorry about my drunkenness last week. I knew it. I knew he
Oh
was
yeah,
off with
no,
something.
oh shit,
He's
dude.
going crazy.
Oh my god.
If I didn't disrupt your show, you're fine. Here's that track. Very hard to shorten and snip some off. If you guys know what to do, please let me know. Thanks. All right.
Okay.
I think it was very close the last time we listened to it. So
yeah, it was sounding good.
Shout out Jokerhead. And you ready?
Yes.
Okay, Ultraviolence Whip with LDR. 3, 2, Lana Del Rey. 3, 2, 1. Intro is quiet.
Those little pads sound like they're too low compared to the drum. I still want more of those pads. Not enough like ambient.
That's good. That lead sounds great.
A lot of white noise.
It's ultraviolence.
sound a little bit off the grid.
So
There
much
has like
air.
a lot of white noise. Yeah. Abrupt ending.
Very abrupt. I mean, sometimes it's okay with something that's like that.
Yep.
But wow, my ears kind of hurt a little.
Yeah. I
Like,
think
man,
yeah. It's very bright. There's a lot of
there's just a
high
ton of like
white noise and
like sounds all the time, and there's like a
fuzzy and
there's like a pumping like high noise sound. Like, man, what's up with the noise stuff? Like, is it that you can't hear it? Like, is your hearing trashed, or
uh-oh.
are you just mixing in like a carpeted ass box? Like, I
Uh-oh.
can't figure out why you can't hear that that's too much white noise. Because I feel like the last one, like the last two that you sent us, sounded a lot more balanced than stuff
Mhm.
previously, um, and wasn't as busy. And this was like a
What's up, DM
weird.
Snowy? Sorry.
It sounded like at the beginning it was like even more sparse maybe than it was before.
Mhm.
Um, which like isn't necessarily a bad thing, but here the sparseness was just not balanced very well.
Mhm.
Like it was like there was that pad melodic like pad thing or whatever in the background, but it was like way behind, like way lower level than the drums were. And it was just
Mhm.
like the drums were the thing that was up front, but then that was just like way in the background.
Mhm.
And so the balance felt a little off there, and then like the bass came in and it was just kind of the kick and the snare and the bass were up front and everything else was like behind it, and then just all this like stupid white noise shit swirling around that you don't need, right? Like
Mhm.
you can use some of that stuff as risers, but like don't have that in your whole tracks basically. Like
Yeah.
I would highly suggest that anything that's like a very persistent sort of like
What's up,
literally
Cowie?
just noise, unless it's like a super subtle type thing, like a final crack or something like that.
Mhm.
Don't don't include those things, especially throughout your whole track. It's fine if they come in like in your chorus to add some like energy and stuff, but we just can't take it the whole time when there's that high end stuff going on.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's sort of like, where do you even find sounds like that? um, yeah, just a lot of high end, a lot of hiss,
Yeah.
kind of painful.
Yeah, literally this like section 320, like there's literally like a white noise instrument that's not doing anything, like it's not changing. It's just white noise. It's just for like 20 seconds.
Yeah,
I was like, why does that need to be here? Um I agree with everything that Josh was saying, and just some pointers because you said you didn't know, or maybe suggestions. Um you didn't know what to cut off. I think these first two kind of breakdowns here that have like a beat, so like at 49 and then 137 where that lead synth comes in. I think you can kind of combine those into one. I don't think we need two instrumental breakdowns before the vocals even come in, because I imagine the vocals are like what the climax is supposed to be. Like I know what's coming because I thought it sounded really good the last time I heard it with the vocals and when everything comes together. But you literally don't give me that until 344, which that should be the end of the song. If it like
yeah,
409 is very long, you know.
yeah.
Um, so if I were you, I would take those first two instrumental breakdowns, those drops. I think they could be meshed into one. You can have like the first breakdown where it's just the drums and bass and simple stuff, and then the synth comes in later. Yeah, you don't need two separate sections for that. I think people will click off before they get to the coolest part of the song. The vocals seemed like when it's ultraviolet, like that part with the drum beat, I think it sounds locked in.
Yeah.
The other stuff before that, it doesn't seem very locked into the grid. It doesn't sound quite in time. It's close, but it doesn't sound in pocket.
Yeah.
Um, so if you could fix that, that would be fantastic. And yeah, sonically, um, it's interesting. I think Josh hit it on the head with balance. There's some elements that are like reverbed out in the back and would give some sort of ambiance of something far away. Same with the vocals. But then there's some stuff that is like so in front and some of them are even piercing and like I don't want to say tinny, but like fuzzy almost, like straight up in my ear, just buzzing around,
Yeah.
and it's very uh,
It's
it's a huge contrast.
fatiguing.
Yeah, it's fatiguing for sure, but it's like everything feels out of place. I don't know how to place this timbre like in a soundscape. It's like there's way too much dynamic range,
There's
if you want to
yeah.
say like
There's less you have less points of reference to figure out like where stuff is in the mix, like
right.
spatially and like level wise when it's just too crowded. Just, it messes everything up.
Yeah, there's just I think everything needs to like come closer together in terms of some things shouldn't be so pushed far back. Some things shouldn't be so upfront and fuzzy. I think some of those lead synths, for example, like they sounded pretty much dry. Like I think they should have, a similar. They should all be fed to like a similar reverb bus or something, that makes them part of the same song. You could have them in front because they're like the front of attention, but yeah, like to have them so drastically different, like it just doesn't feel like anything's part of the same song. But
Yeah. Uh, do we want to just give a vibe score, then we can go into content
yeah.
production?
So there's parts of this that I like. I think the drums and percussion sound pretty good. There's that last snare that comes in. I said it too. For some reason, it sounds like uncharacteristically weak compared to
Really?
the first ones.
Hmm.
But for the most part, the percussion was good. Bass seemed pretty good.
I thought the
Balance seems
snare got
off.
a little bit more harsh than it was before. Like I feel like a lot of his snares have a lot of like body.
Hmm.
Feels like it's a little bit thinner than that. I don't know if that was like a mixing decision or what. It's still pretty good and punchy. I
Hmm.
think for me, it's just the level of everything. It's just too far forward compared to everything else.
Hmm. Yeah, we kind of went super in depth for vibes. Sorry, Jokerhead, but we want to give you actionable feedback as soon as possible.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, yeah, I think there's still some work to do here. There's stuff to like. You made me wait like 340 for that though. Um, that synth sounds pretty good. I would say maybe like 50 between green and yellow. I think there's a lot of work still. I think there's some cool stuff, but and I think you have it all here. But yeah, just like shorten those first two instrumental drops. They don't need to be that long, and
Yeah,
try to make these changes sonically that we're talking about because it was fatiguing,
yeah.
and you don't want that.
I do want to hear like I don't know. I'm just curious how different this is from the last version that you submitted like a month and a half or 2 months ago. Because I remember liking that one more. Like I remember being a little bit more impressed with that.
Hmm.
And I feel like there wasn't this issue of like the super high end fuzzy like white noise stuff as much. So maybe that's part of it. I don't know if you like removed stuff and then tried to like add stuff back in, but just added noise back in or something. But yeah, I feel like my impression of the last version of this was actually better. So you might want to like consider our feedback from both of the versions and sort of figure out like what it is that we liked or didn't like in both and how to choose the best of both worlds. And depending on what you use, you should have access to like version control of the previous DAW projects.
Yes.
So maybe just
Do not.
check the other ones and see what was different.
Yeah, don't delete old versions.
Yeah.
But
So yeah, I
it's
think
converging, but yeah,
yeah,
this is a journey
um,
of a song.
yeah. For me, I mean, and the other thing is, well, this will come into content, but just like the timing and all that. But yeah, that being said, vibes, your phone number's on there.
Oh shit! So
You
sad.
just dox yourself.
Yeah, bleep that out.
Gotta change it. Um,
Oh, you can't really,
yes.
you can't see it too much, which is good, but that's
Oh,
funny.
fun fact: Gowie or Goey music.
Gowie, yeah, Gowie
I
guessed it. It is a SM58.
I
Yes.
actually used to work at Shure for a little bit,
Sheesh,
and I got
flex.
some nice discounts. Oh, like this discount right here.
What's that?
Oh yeah,
Oh
SM70.
shit. Yeah. Some of us have to work hard for our musical equipment. Okay. So I'm over
I
here
had to
with
work for them.
with a yeah, yeah, yeah. I see.
So,
No, the discounts of Ed Sheeran is pretty good.
yes.
I think I want a SM7B. I think that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, that's a great mic. Um, but yeah, so I think like vibes, I would say also probably 50% because it's just it's hard to listen to when it goes on for so long with all that noise stuff and the levels
Yeah.
are just out of whack.
Yeah.
That for content, I think like the main thing is the length. Like I was just waiting for that vocal to come in because I know it's there and it
Yeah.
is the best part of the song. I think for sure, it's the most melodic. You know, it has like more of a supporting chord structure behind it, like that descending line, where a
Mhm.
lot of the other parts just kind of feel nebulous. You know, like I'm kind of just like, what is the structure here? Like, what are we waiting for?
Yep.
There are points where it just stays on the same chord for a long time, and it's just like kind of like baking. You know, it's like what are we doing here? And then like that part with the vocal feels more purposeful and like it has like a story and it's going somewhere. But before that, it's just like we're waiting around. There's just like drums and white noise happening. Like cool, you know. But
There's the like lead synth, but yeah, I agree. That
yeah, but
first whole drop, if you want to call it that, is just drums and a
yeah,
chord
it
and
just
like
doesn't like feel like it has like a purpose or like
yeah.
like a journey, like an arc. And
Mhm.
we're just kind of waiting for what? Like if we weren't required to listen to this, I definitely wouldn't have listened to where the vocals are. Probably not even halfway there,
Yeah.
because it was just harsh, a little bit hard to listen to
Mhm.
sonically and kind of boring. So I don't know. Whatever you did last time, there was something in there that was a little bit more interesting to us. Um, so you might want to look at that. But anyways, other content thoughts?
No, I agree. I think the biggest thing, and this is what they ask for, is the um shortening it. Yeah, so definitely shorten. I just take those first two drops and mesh them into one. Keep them the same length as one of those drops, and yeah, I agree with everything what Josh said. I don't know if I could add anything else. I did like the lead synth how it sounded in the second drop. Maybe it was a little bit dry. Like I didn't hear much of any reverb on it. Um, and yeah, I think that's all. Content. It's got some ways to go, but I think it's pretty decent. I think I'll put it at 55 between green and yellow. What about you?
I think I would say 45 because I think like this whole strong song structure right now and the sounds that are being used are like a big part of the problem. Like
Yeah, yeah,
those reasons would not make me want to listen all the way through it.
yeah, here in the structure, I put that harshness in the production for me.
Yeah,
Like
I
the
mean,
whole
I
ear
think
fatigue is like
it's partly mixing, but it's also the choice of all these sort of busy sounds as like the sort of content. But yeah,
yeah.
it's both.
Can an unfinished finished whip get top tier track status? Yes, I think there's
Yes.
one actually. Unfortunately, I don't know if that person has ever come back to the stream, but I
With yeah,
do you
with it
remember?
released, I don't remember if they did, but
Yeah, but
it is possible. Yeah, and if you do, then just like let us know when it's published, because then we can actually put it in our playlist and on our Instagram.
right, right, right. What's up, Muzz G? Looking like
Muzg,
they spelled
welcome back.
feedback wrong. All right, they got
Fed
it.
back. Yeah,
Must have been top tier if they never came back. Right? Who
yeah.
needs
They're like,
us?
I'm out of here.
Yeah.
But yes, yeah, it is.
Hey
But yeah,
yo.
I mean, anyways, I guess that's content for this, and then production.
Yeah, it just like hurt my ears to listen to a little bit.
Painful.
Like we talked about already is the harshness and like a lot of highs when they don't need to be there. Like when white noise just like occupying space when it could be something else.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, and this the whole sonic scape. For some reason the sounds don't feel like they're in the same place. That's why I think using a unified kind of reverb bus and you just kind of vary the send amounts from each instrument
yeah,
to create that feeling that you're in the same environment. I think it's very important. I think that's missed here. Um, you have like some. I think you have a good knack for matching up imagery with the songs that you have, but the production here kind of lacks that soundscape that I was expecting. That was a little more dark and brooding. A lot of it is like very bright when I don't think it should be. You know,
yeah,
bright and fuzzy. So.
yeah. Definitely.
Uh, What about you,
Dude,
production?
just imagine if the rest of this track was like like much more toned down. Like even if the snare was like almost like low passed,
Mm,
and then like that shimmering like Lana Del Rey vocal comes on, and there's just a few elements that also maintain that high end.
mm,
How nice this would sound! Like
mhm,
it's just such a big difference from just everything being bright and crowded. Because when too many things are bright, it's just it's one very ear fatiguing. It also means that your track sounds thinner,
mm,
and it just destroys your like dynamic range and your sort of like directionality of being able to separate things spatially. Like there's every reason in the world to have a darker track that just has like sort of markers of the brightness ceiling, to make things sound really clean and not too crowded.
mm,
Like some of my favorite like there's some amazing tracks. Like think about like a great example is like Bad Guy, right? That song is super dark, except for like a few things. Like there's just a few tracks that have that indication of where like the brightness ceiling is, sort of, including the yeah, that part exactly, the little synth part that's way up there, and everything else is way down low, and it sounds like a super well balanced, like brooding track. It doesn't sound muddy, right? It just sounds like full spectrum, thick, and not overbearing,
Yep.
and it leaves tons of room for the vocal. So yeah, it's that would be nice to hear more of that. I think we heard that on the one that we heard before. We were like, wow, this is finally like less crowded and it sounds like more well balanced, but just got to be careful. And again, I don't know if we ever really heard exactly from you what your mixing setup is like, but I would love to know because it might
Mm,
help us a little bit. Um,
yeah.
but anyways, yeah, that's the main thing. I think we talked about it pretty much with production.
Yeah.
Uh,
Hopefully you take this in stride, Jokerhead. Yeah, I don't know if it was. I wish like we could have time to just listen to both of them A, B, and back to back because it
yeah.
seems like it might have been a step back. So whatever changes you made, like dial them back a little bit, maybe less subtle or more subtle, you know. But yeah, you have a score?
Yeah, I think for production, I would say maybe like a 55 for this one.
Yeah, I'll put mine at 45.
Okay.
That evens out my score for vibes too.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to say we have Gowie, we have Snowy, and Muzz G. We have all of your submissions. So thank you for submitting. Um, Filling in your submission form is similar to applying for a mortgage. Yes, well, I agree. And
Well, you
we,
still did it.
yeah, you've still done it, and you've done it quite a many times. So we thank you. But that will be easier soon when we have this platform built. Um,
Yes.
so
Let's give a
Josh,
final score for this one, and we can talk about that.
that's true. Stay tuned. So track total, I think it's around what my vibes is right now. So 50 between green and yellow. What about you? Maybe I'll put it at 45. Like when it hurts to listen to it, just yeah, that goes really far down, and I would have never made it to 340. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. I think I'll say 45 between yellow and green too, because yeah, it's how hard it is to listen to and how long it takes to get to the good part.
Mhm.
So yeah, I would definitely look back at our feedback from the last one and what we liked and what you had that was different there, and just yeah, I am very curious to hear about your like mixing setup and stuff because it seems like the noise thing would be obvious, but maybe not.
First name, last name, social security number, RuneScape
Yes.
password,
Okay. So
Minecraft
what?
server.
Yeah. So what Chris was alluding to here, basically, we've been working on a web platform, believe it or not. Um, that's really what FastTrack is, and it's a platform to help you get feedback from people who have experience in the music industry. So yeah, it's like a visual way to give and get feedback, and you'll be able to find experts that have lots of experience with your genre and the area that you're trying to get help with, be it lyrics or mixing or songwriting, whatever it is. And we've got a beta, which is in the chat, fasttrack.studio. You can actually go to that link and sign up if you want to be part of the platform to be one of our first artist users. And if you know any like people that provide services like mixing, mastering, songwriting, stuff like that, feel free to send them there too, and they can sign up as well to be providers. But yeah, that's what we're working on. Eventually, we'll be able to get feedback through the stream through the platform, so you won't have to like enter all of your info every time, that kind of thing. But
Yep, you just got to sign in to the place, drop your track in,
and then you'll be
and
able to see the queue and everything like that too. It should be cool.
oh yeah, it'll be fantastic.
Yes. But yeah, feel free to sign up if you want to be one of our very first users. It should be very exciting, and we are excited to bring that to you this summer. So
Yeet
yeah,
yeet. Stay
uh,
tuned.
cool. All right,
Cool.
so we've got three here. We've got Gowie or Goey, don't know which one it is. Snowy,
David Gowie.
Gowie, Goey, Snowy, and Muzz G. It looks like Muzz G and Gowie Goey, you guys know each other, huh?
I got some homosexuality here, apparently.
There's a
Yes,
Daniel
sir.
Caesar song called that. On his
Homosexuality?
called
Really?
Homosexual
Oh, yeah, yeah, homosexual. My friend has a
on
shirt of that.
his new album. It's pretty good.
Oh, I see, I see. Okay. But yeah, well, that's the order right now. If you guys want to skip your homies in the chat, there's always the tip to skip. There's $5 if you need it now. Get it now. And
Yes, we should have. I think we should have time to get through these three.
I think so, yeah.
If
We're gonna
not,
stop around
uh,
7, so
yeah, Muzz G is you're currently at the end. If you want to skip the queue to be reviewed before everyone else,
mhm.
then just tip us there, the Streamlabs link, $5, and you will be moved up to the front and guaranteed a spot for today.
Yeet,
So
yeet.
that's just how it works. But otherwise, should we get started with Gowie? Goey? Which one is it?
Yo, what's
Tell
up?
us in the
Music
chat.
by Arc. We have been around the Twitch block for a while, for fuck's sake. Wait, what? Uh oh, do you not like this person? But anyways, some ops pulled up, I guess, for the homies. But yeah, so we'll go to Goey for now. Um, it's called Halo. It's a work in progress. It seems like in the chat they were teasing, can works in progress get purples too?
Yeah.
So is
Oh,
that what we're
he said
expecting here?
it's Goey like Hoey. I mean, it's Gowie like Howie.
Howie. Okay, Gowie. Got you. Got you. Was it
Nice.
Gowie
Okay.
Mandel? All right. I wanted to try something I've never done. Oh shit! Halo. It just auto played for me. I
Oh.
fucking love Halo. Halo is one of my favorite game series. You ready?
Yes.
All right,
Fury,
Gowie.
Wait.
very few of us.
Hold on.
Huh?
It just copied the fucking ultraviolence link again.
Well, wait. It's okay. Which game is this? This looks like Halo 5, perhaps. Didn't
Okay, now
play
it's
it.
there.
Halo 5 Guardians. As a Halo 3 person. But you have it up?
Yeah. Let's do
All
it.
right, Gowie, Halo Dub, WIP, 3, 2, 1.
We've been streaming for like 2 years, Gowie. We've been around the block.
Yeah, we have.
Hmm.
Dub? Dubstep or
I
dub?
feel like this sample was downloaded from YouTube in 480p.
Really?
Here's some artifacting.
Oh, here we go, baby. DMB?
Slayer.
Oh shit!
Nice.
Snappy snare.
Yeah, those drums sound great.
Betrayal.
I like the Slayer. Yeah, that was pretty
Dude,
cool, man. I like
that was
that.
cool.
Yeah.
Actually, I like that ending too.
Shouts out to Gowie. That was crazy.
Damn,
Gowie like Howie, maybe blah blah blah, Snowy.
very cool.
Fires in the chat. Everybody loves it. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah,
Hmm.
I thought that was pretty sweet too. What do you have for vibes? First impressions?
Yeah, I mean, I think at the beginning I was sort of like, "Where is this going? Is this going to be cool?"
Yeah.
And then, I mean, really, what saved it, I think, is the percussion. Like, just such a good groove there, like a well filled in like percussion rhythm with
Mhm.
those little I don't even know. I guess it was maybe hats or maybe it was like brushes on hats or something like that. It was a cool like sample for the in between, like the subdivisions. And then that snare was like so tight and snappy.
Yeah, it was like a shaker. Listening back, it seems
Or
like a
like
shaker.
one of those oh man, there's like some sort of like it's like a snare like hat hybrid or something, where you put like a hi-hat top
Mhm.
on the snare,
Yeah, yeah.
something like that, but like really tight. That was cool. Uh
Top tier Halo. Top, top, top.
and then the little thing was also just like
That was a
really
really good, like, faithful impersonation of that. That was
boop,
cool.
boop, boop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just, like, need some bass on it. That
Yeah,
was good.
yeah. No, it was what just, like, well placed and, like, sparse. I also liked throughout the whole thing, you did manage to keep it, like, really restrained, like, not
Mhm.
adding too much shit all the time, and that, I think, is such goes such a long way, and a lot of, like, beginners don't get that for a long time. So that was cool. It just felt like it was very well arranged. What do you think?
Sorry, I'm listening back again. Um, yeah, I agree with everything what you said. God, yeah, the highlight is obviously the drop in onwards.
Yeah.
Um, tight sounding drums, tight bass. Everything sounded so sick. I could see myself like just putting this on while playing Halo, trying to go MLG and shit, but going like 0 and 50 or something. But yeah, that was cool. The only thing for me, it might have, and like Josh said this too, with that Halo sample. Um, Josh saying he heard some artifacting. I don't know how he has that ear for it.
It's
But I
either
would
artifacting or a little bit of clipping, but there's definitely I just listened again
right,
a little bit. There's something there.
I would listen to him, and I was listening back because yeah, I get that you wanna have the Halo theme in there, and when you start from that point in the Halo theme, the "Oh," it's like you have to let it play all out before you do something with it, but that results in you having, like, this 25-second intro that's, like, risky,
Yeah.
um, and even with the drop, it doesn't kick in right away. Like, my first impression when it was like, "Slayer," and it was just like a boom, and there was, like, nothing, I was like, "Alright, that was lame, I'm gonna turn it off." But then, like, the drums came in, and I was like, "Okay, hooked." But those are all just, like, take that that was, like, my kind of roller coaster ride as a listener. Um, like, what if I skipped the song at that point, you know? Like, that could be a lot of your fan base potentially gone. So, and that would be a shame because this is really cool. So, just
Yeah.
keep that in mind. But yeah, I think this is like a pretty damn good job so far. I'm very curious where you go with it next because right now it's like the drop doesn't really incorporate any of like the Halo melodies at all. Um, and I'm wondering what you're gonna do next with it. Like, are you gonna put like that sample, revisit it back in, or like think about this? It might be cool. You might be doing this, but use like samples from the game, like a plasma rifle as like some sort of percussive element or something. That might be crazy. Or lame, but just some ideas. I'm just curious where you'd take it. But cool. That was a very nice listen, enjoyable. My vibes, I think, at this point are, I think 88 between green and yellow. I think this is pretty cool so far. But there's just some of those caveats in the beginning where it's like, kind like convince me to stay. Maybe I don't know, get introduce some of the breaks in the beginning. I don't know, but yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm also just I was thinking about this, like listening to it, but sort of like what's the like use case for
Mm.
this? Like, I mean, it's a minute long. Is it supposed to be just like a fun thing? Like where do you envision somebody listening to this? Is it like something they'll add to their library and then just like listen? I don't know. I guess you could have a minute long song that you like listen to, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's just sort of like are you trying to get it in the game or something or like it's from a game but like where's it supposed to like live, right?
Yeah. So this will be
um
a full length song. I'm planning a jungle second drop. Crazy. Jungle
cool.
DMB.
Yeah, no, I think that'd be cool.
Why did you say DUB?
Dub.
Yeah.
Is it like is like a Halo dub, like type of track where you're like dubbing over the
I
original theme?
I don't know. I
I
mean,
feel like I've heard that before.
okay, yeah.
I don't know.
I was expecting like dub. Dub isn't released. It is a private collection.
It is
Interesting.
private collection.
Okay.
What does that mean? What does private collection mean?
You choose who to give it to.
Oh, well, it is private. but
Don't.
wait, but you said that the original thing, the original sample was from private collection. What does that even mean? Like where?
I definitely didn't rip it off YouTube. Private collection. Right. That's it. That is a lie.
But
I
what?
think they're lying. I think
Oh,
they ripped it off of YouTube.
either way. I mean, I just like if it's from like a game, I'd just wonder how that like it was recorded. If it wasn't like from the original like makers, if somebody like recorded it through some weird like hardware, you know,
through OBS.
yeah, some shit like that. Uh, maybe, but or maybe the original sample just has some clipping on it in the game or something like that. I don't know, but
Unregistered hypercam too.
yeah,
It's a deep cut.
yeah, I don't know, but anyways, do we give scores on vibes? Or you said
I gave it
80?
88. Yeah,
I'll say 85 because
sure.
I liked once the like drum bass part came in or whatever. But
See, so he said in the then this is like with content here, but he said there's a low health beep in the background, and there's also the shield regen is in one of my risers. A
that's
couple of
cool.
vocals I heard about that. Those little details would like make me want to like listen back and probably listen over and over again to listen
Yeah,
for more of that shit. I think that's super cool. I'm glad that you put that stuff in there.
yeah,
Um,
definitely.
and yeah, that's like that replay value, bro. Like taking some video game speak and applying it here. But
Hmm.
yeah, that I think is super important for like a shorter song like this too. But like you said, you're gonna make it even longer. So I'm excited for this track as a Halo fan and as a Gowie fan now. I think your drums sound fantastic. I can't wait to
Yeah,
hear it.
for real.
But yeah, it is short and it's not finished. So there's that. The intro, uh, kind of just lackluster at this point. If I'm being point frank, like just compared to everything else, if you could do something about it, um, I think the whole Slayer and the what is it?
Mm,
Betrayal? Like
yeah.
those are all pretty iconic. Like so, if you feel like you need to use the whole Halo theme or like give it its flowers for like the first 20 seconds, I don't think you have to. I think people understand as soon as they get hear the Slayer and shit.
Or if you
So
could just do something like subtle on top of that intro part, so it's not just the intro. I don't know, like something to make it less like you're waiting.
yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I could see this like if you DJ it live and like if this song comes on, because I was gonna be like, oh, you could put breaks a break beat on it, and then like when you DJ it in, right, you have like a beat to like kind of count to. But I could totally see a crowd get hype if they just like the drums drop out and the next song is oh, that's the
Yeah,
thing that
yeah,
people will sing along to, So
yeah, definitely.
I don't know. But yeah, I hate to give you this back and forth, wishy-washy advice, but that's just what I'm feeling. So, you know, it's up to you to make the moves. But yeah, I think there's a lot to like here in the content. Drums, people said it, sounds fantastic. Bass sounds fantastic, and yeah, I think I'm at maybe 85 between green and yellow. I can't wait for this.
For
So
content.
definitely, yeah, for content, definitely send us the next version. I can't wait. I'm excited.
Yeah, I think I would. For me, I would say 80 between yellow and green for content at this point, just because it's not finished yet. Like it's a minute
Yeah,
of the song.
for sure.
Just don't know where it's going to go to sort of be like a full song. I guess it's like a good like concept for what it will be. But yeah, I guess it's that and kind of the intro, figuring out exactly what to do there to make sure that it stays engaging until the rest comes in.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, then production.
Production. Um, I mean, I don't have too much to say. Um, I think it sounds pretty damn good, pretty snappy.
Yeah,
Um, I don't think I had any sort of balance issues, and yeah, I think you might have more to say here.
yeah. Maybe one thing to like just sort of double check if you can is like does the is the level setting at the beginning enough to prepare the listener for the level of your like drums and stuff later? Because
Right, it might be a little quiet.
it might be like I turned up a little bit at the beginning because it sounded like it needed a little bit more like fullness, and then when the drums came in, I had to turn down a little bit because they're very snappy. I mean, I think once I turned it down a little, it sounded like well balanced enough between the body and the snappiness. It's a very snappy snare, and I was like, "Is this like too much? Is this a little bit painful?" But I think it's a good kind of pain. Like it's just a teeny bit of sting, because there's so much smack on it. But yeah, no, it's just debatable. Like at the beginning, does the listener know what level the track is at, or are they going to get to that part and then it's going to be like too loud and they're going to be jarred a little bit? So that's
Mhm.
just one thing to double check. But everything else, I think, sounds like well balanced and real full. Even the intro part sounds like very full, very like got a lot of low end, but also has some high end. Feels well balanced. So, yeah. What do you think?
I just checked out the link that he said, and I think it's funny that it's from YouTube. So I wonder how you're gonna get this sample, Gowie. Do you know these people that are playing the guitar?
Hmm.
But what do you think if I added to the second drop? I mean, it's cool. Like, I'm just generally curious how you're gonna do it because this first drop doesn't have any of the melody. At least I'm not aware. Um, that's in it, and I think it's even like at a different tempo. So, I think it'd be awesome if if you did it, and um, yeah, it'll be hard, it'll be difficult, but yeah, do it, try it, send it in. Let's see. That would get well. I would get someone to record it for me. Okay, I'm just poking fun, but yeah. Uh,
Record it with an AirPods mic.
with that unregistered hypercam too, baby.
Yeah.
But yeah. All that to say, production I think is pretty good. Um, I think I'll give it in a 90 between green and yellow. What about you?
Uh, yeah, I think I could give it a 90 for production. Well, yeah,
Pretty good.
90,
You
sure. It's
know,
just, I think just like level setting and making sure that it's totally balanced is about it.
they're rationalizing now.
Yeah.
Hey
change,
man, don't
change it
yeah,
with
don't out
effects.
yourself, bro.
Put like a phaser and a really bad reverb on it.
Don't self snitch, okay? Twitch can
Yes.
see it.
Yeah.
But was
The
it
algorithm can
overall? I
see it.
think my score is around 87 between green and yellow. I think this has a lot of potential, and maybe you're right. It could be top tier. Not right now, but
Yeah.
um, between green and yellow, I'm at 87, and yeah, please send us it in because I think this is awesome.
Yeah. I'll be the bad guy. I'll say 86.
I'm the bald guy.
Dun, dun,
Dude,
dun.
do you know that's like the most liked comment of like YouTube history?
What?
There's this guy, he's like a pretty big YouTuber and he's bald and like his profile picture is just like him being
Is
bald and
it
like
jerry rig everything?
I don't know. I don't think so. That doesn't sound familiar.
Hmm.
But he has a whole video on how that comment got like the biggest because it's on the bad guy music video, which is like has a lot of views.
Yeah, that's
And like
funny.
the top comment is I'm the bald guy and it's so good.
It's funny.
But anyways, yeah. Okay, who do we got next? I think someone
Uh,
came into the chat and tried to get the form, but I don't think we got your submission. So RIP. They must have got caught in the crossfire or something. But we have Snowy and Muzz G. That's the order right now. Should be able
yes.
to get to you both. So if you hear us, Snowy, you're up next. And if anybody there is having problems, techie, brr, brr, is anybody having problems with the form? We got you right here. It's this feedback here. I think there was somebody that came in earlier, actually. Yeah, no, that was Snowy. Who was it? Music by Arc. He said, "Yo," but yeah, I don't know.
Damn. Must have
Cool.
hated us. Must
Yeah,
have
I
hated our
guess so.
feedback. It's like, oh
Or
shit, these guys are giving real feedback. I can't stand up against this.
yeah, or Gowie hit him with a for fuck's sake. So I'm like,
Yeah, what
Gowie,
the fuck,
what the hell,
Gowie?
bro? Like, well, you gotta bounce it out, bro. We didn't ask you to be our bouncer.
Yeah.
What happened?
Damn.
But nah, I'm just kidding. It's what it is. So we'll go to Snowy then. Song title is No Name. Is that the title?
It's in progress, it says on the actual thing. So there's no
Stream
name
in
yet, I
progress.
guess.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Like No Name, the rapper. It's a work in progress. My inspiration is "This Could Be Us" by Virtual Riot. Do you know?
I don't.
Don't know either. How did you hear about them? Twitch recommended them to me. Really? We are on the good side of Twitch's algorithm
Thank
sometimes.
you, Twitch.
Yeah. Thank you. Can you hear us? We love
Thank you,
you,
boss
Twitch.
of Twitch. We love you, Jeff Bezos.
Look at this sick hot tub I'm in right now. Just kidding.
Oh, that'll get the views.
Oh yeah, baby.
Should I take my
Uh,
shirt off?
yeah, yeah. Let's do it. All right. Fast track. Ask. No, okay. I'm done.
Oh
I
boy.
don't want to. I don't want to curse. Are you ready?
Don't curse us. Yes.
Yeah. I'm not ready. Stream in progress by DM Snowy. Yes, I am. 3, 2, 1.
Swells are loud. those swells are really dynamic. I'm having trouble hearing what the chords are.
I like that little. Nice.
I can't really hear what the bass line's doing either, actually. I think it's the lower mids are lacking a little bit. There's
I agree. Yeah, turn that little bass. Whoa.
Oh, that's cool.
That's cool. Wow. That was
Hmm.
unique as fuck. That was cool.
Interesting. Yeah, the one thing. So you said like take the chords of this song. I don't know what you meant by take the chords, but I was sort of struggling to really hear what the actual like chord progression was
Yeah.
and what the bass line was doing. It was like both of them, like those chord. It's like there's a hole in the middle. I don't know if you're going for like a mid scooped type thing,
Yep.
but like the pad parts or the harmonic, the chord instruments were like kind of airy, like very airy, and
Very
didn't
airy.
didn't have a lot of body. And there was also just so much like volume, like up and down. I didn't honestly. I think my least favorite part of the song was that like thing that kept going really loud and really quiet. It
Yeah.
was just too much dynamic range, and like maybe you're right with mastering. Some of that would be corrected a little bit, and it might sort of like compress the kick and everything, glue it together more.
No, but
Um,
everything sounded in key.
well, I don't know though, because there was that one note at the like a sort of random note almost at the end there that was like in key. I think it was like maybe a ninth or something like that, or some like extension.
Mhm.
That's like fine, but just sort of didn't feel like it was too like purposeful. And I think it was like the last note that you had, and it just didn't sound like a resolution note, kind of.
Mm.
So, but what I was trying to figure out is like what's going on with the chords here because things were changing so fast. There's like stuttery parts and like swelly parts, and like the bass line wasn't really giving me any foundation as to what chord we're on either.
Yep.
It was almost like the bass was tuned too low, like mixing frequency wise, and it didn't have like the fundamental note there. Almost, it was like it was just sub bass.
Mhm.
So like you've got this like maybe like lows to like low mids sort of hole that's being scooped out, and it's just that's where the fundamental notes of most of your chords are probably going to be. So
Yeah.
we
I mean,
don't
even
get that.
mids in general, it just like
Yeah,
all it was, I feel like it was dominated by that high, swelly, airy synth,
yeah, it's
which I
just like
think was
sort
a
of
little bit too airy
airy
and
stuff,
just
and there was
loud.
some low percussion, but then it was just like it's the whole thing sounded more percussive than it did harmonic or melodic.
Yeah. Which
Um,
is fine, but I think it definitely like you were playing some sort of chords that sounded pretty nice, but yeah, like just if you had like access to the synth, like yeah, take out some of the noise and let some more of the fundamental in, you know?
and it's hard for me to tell again because if we can't really hear it, sound like frequency wise, but there's I think a lot of like change between like chords very quickly and sort of the it's called like harmonic rhythm. I don't know if it completely makes sense either. It's sort of like you want to have your chords and melodies change at a pace that sort of feels like melodic and rhythmic and makes sense instead of just being like chord 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 like it sort of felt like that. It was a little random. So yeah, I think I don't think it's about mastering though. I think like that could maybe help with some of the mixing like frequency issues. But if we can't hear the full spectrum of your instruments, then it's a little hard to tell what's going on with the chords. And I think even the parts from what I could hear of that chordal instrument and of the bass were very like sort of fast moving. They wouldn't really stay on one chord to give us a grounding. Just sounded a little bit random. So yeah, it's kind of, I mean, you don't need to know music theory to make music. You just need to be able to create something that sounds good, right? It's like you don't need to know the theory necessarily of like painting to make something that looks decent. It's a little bit different because it's, whatever, its senses are different. But um, yeah, you don't need theory to be able to make good chord progressions. I mean, they can be simple and be better, right? The Beatles didn't know music theory. Like, holy shit.
Mhm.
Um, and as for the song, almost all my songs are like this, a bit chaotic. I think it's part of my style, not something I do intentionally. Yeah, and I think like a lot of people starting out are kind of looking for their like voice, right? And part of that involves experimentation. You just like try different things and see what works, see what doesn't. But as you go on, you'll probably realize that simplifying in the right direction um, both sounds better and can actually make you sound more unique and identifiable too. If you can boil it down to the few things that make you you, and not sort of these general things like chaos, right? Like it has to be a specific like way that you do chaos, and it also has to follow some of the rules of like what makes music good, like what people like to hear, psychoacoustics, right? Stuff like that. And if we can't hear the fundamental notes, then it's like as if we're not hearing the notes at all, kind of. So it's a balance between like the sort of rule book, but not like you don't have to follow any rules specifically like theory or anything like that. Just doing what sounds good and also finding what are the few unique things that make you who you are, and boiling it down to those and trying to decomplexify. So yeah, that's sort of some general advice it sounds like for this. But
Mhm.
you got anything else for vibes, Chris?
Um, I just want to say a couple things. What's up, For Us Music? What's up, De Niro? Robert De Niro is in the chat right now. Crazy. Can you,
Official.
yeah, can you type in that feedback thing real quick? I just want to say, DM Snowy, your English is fantastic. Don't
Yeah,
worry about it. Yeah, like we could definitely understand. Shout out chili, excuse me. One of my favorite vegetables, and I think
trees.
yeah, so, like, the chords, honestly, didn't seem like too big of a problem for me personally. I think I was there to listen mostly for, um, those different kind of drop changes, change ups, the kinda, like, fist bumping, percussive pumping action, that I think you provided pretty well. Um a lot of the stuff I love to hear actually, like the trance like synth stabs, I thought were very enjoyable to listen to. And the second drop here, and I wanted to zoom in on this part specifically because I really liked it. I think it's at 120, 123 perhaps. There's like nice little break of all of these super bright sounding synths, which by the way, I agree with Josh. The ones that are very swelly, I think one or too loud and have a too big of a dynamic range. It's like way it like makes us go and it's like we should be listening to all this other cool shit that you have going on. Like put that stuff in the back, lower it down. But yeah, there's like a nice little reprieve at 120 of like this arpeggiated low mid bass that sounds fantastic, and we only like one, it sounds too quiet compared to the other high stuff, so that's like a balance thing. And then two, it only happens like once. Like I'd like to hear if that's happening in the rest of the song or like some element of it is. I think it would help round out that kind of hole in the mix that we're hearing right now. Um, but yeah, I think there's a lot to like here. I agree with what Josh was saying, but all the chaos and different kind of change ups that are happening kind of made it up for me. Like I didn't I think it could help to have like a kind of melodic theme that is central throughout. But honestly, I didn't think it was too much of a problem. I thought that the switch ups kind of kept it fresh for me. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, I guess being fresh throughout is one thing because it did change a lot, but I just felt like kind of lost. Like if I was listening to this on my own, I would probably think, "Oh, this is a little bit messy." Like I
what's up,
sort of
Luco?
don't. It sounds like kind of a lot of stuff thrown together, and not necessarily a ton of logic. And like this is what is happening in this section,
Mhm.
versus it being. I mean, you can have tracks that are more rhythmically rooted, and that's really just what it's about. But then it's like,
Yeah.
what's the point of having all the crazy chord stuff happening in the background? That's sort of just like leading you astray as a listener potentially. Um,
Yeah, I guess I was just listening for the ride. Like there's no expectations that I had with this. Like
yeah,
that's why I think it kind of kept it fresh for me. But this is only 2 minutes, so I think it would be permissible for 2 minute song. But like, yeah, if it's like a full 3:30 song or something, and there's no pattern or the pattern is like weird and exhausting, like yeah, I see that it would become a bigger issue. But at this point, it's not too big of an issue for me.
yes.
Um, yeah, it looks like a Twitby recommended us, dude. Literally after we said all that of
Nice
like
stuff to the Twitch gods.
recommendations,
Thank
yeah.
you, Jeff Bezos, Jeff Bezos, Jeff
Yes.
Bezos.
Uh, hot
That's
tub,
what you
hot
have to
tub,
say.
hot tub. I'm a beautiful woman in a hot tub. All right, anyways, we'll see.
Yes. Also, by the way, Luco Music, I
Ye
think you just submit? Oh no, Dinero submitted.
Dinero.
Uh, yes. So we should get. I mean, we get to everyone. Just to give a little disclaimer here, we get to everyone who submits for free.
Yep.
But if you want to be reviewed, we only have a limited amount of time at the
Mhm.
stream. We
For
have
us just
time.
submitted.
Yeah, we have time, and for us to too. We have time for one more song after this,
Yep.
today's stream. So we've currently got three in the free queue. We've got Muzz G, De Niro, and For Us. If anybody wants to be up during this stream, you have to donate to our tip link here, $5 minimum.
Yep.
By default, Muzz G you'll be up, but if anybody wants to skip, you'll get reviewed today in this stream right after this.
Mhm.
Otherwise, you'll be up next week. We're here every Friday from 4:30 to or 5:30 to 7:30.
Yeah, yeah.
It's all
Dude, and the last song has the title Pirate King, and that excites me. Are you a One Piece fan? Let me know.
oh
But
boy.
yeah. Okay, no problem, Luco. Yeah, let us know, Luco, if you're waiting or if you want to tip. If you want to tip, we'll put you right in the queue. But if not, thank you for the submission. We get to everybody, and we'll not if not this week, we'll get to you next week, like Josh said.
Yes, and De Niro or for us. If either of you tip, then you will be up
And
last.
Robert De Niro. Yo, wait. All right, cool,
Yes.
cool. Thanks for stopping by, man. And I think someone followed us as well, so thank you for the follow. Appreciate the love.
Mhm.
And DM Snowy. Yes, generally people say period. I think they meant to say something, but few people give technical feedback, and that is appreciated. Yes.
That's what we try to do.
Luco. Yeah, thank you, Luco, over the follow. Yeah, that's like kind of our differentiator. We saw that too. People are like, next, which is kind of valuable feedback, or like
In a
but
way, yeah.
there's some technical stuff that could help. So yeah, we appreciate that. Where are we at? Content?
Hmm.
Did we give score for vibes?
Um, no, I don't think we did.
I'll say I'm at 75 between green and yellow.
Yeah, I think I'll say 70.
Okay, content.
Yeah, and then like again, content here for me is just about like, does the structure make sense? I guess those like the sounds
For
are
us
part of it.
donated $5. They tipped to skip. Sorry, Muzzy.
Hey, damn, damn. Well, we love you, Muzz G, but
We do love. Actually, we really do Muzzy.
yes.
Muzzy's the guy with the brain logo, right? Oh, dude,
I
he's the
think
guy that
so. Yeah.
always gives some BCRBs.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, Muzzy. But that's all love in the chat. He knows. He
He
understands.
knows
Thank you
he'll be
for
back.
us. We appreciate you. You're next. You're the last one.
Dope.
Congrats. But anyways,
Congratulations.
where we
Um,
at? Content. Yeah. Sorry.
yeah, I think like those risers at the beginning are, and we have a guest on the stream.
It's her birthday.
Woo! Happy
Dia.
birthday, Dia.
He's a happy birthday to our. Oh, we had 8
We
viewers.
need
Now there's
confetti
5.
in the, yeah.
Yeah. I got the
Um,
confetti.
but anyways, yeah. So I think like those risers at the beginning, that's kind of a content thing. Maybe you can mix those to be less dynamic, but I just consider the value of those, or if they're serving the purpose you want them to. And
Definitely need to
then
be quieter for sure.
otherwise, content stuff. I think like I just wish that your sections were a little bit more defined in like what's actually happening versus just like having a lot of like jump cuts between like different like chords. There's different pads doing all sorts of crazy stuff, and sort of like you can have a chaotic like feel to the song that still has a foundation that has some sort of order to it. And I think it's just more pleasing. I think to have that contrast just serves everyone better,
Yeah.
kind of. Uh, but yeah, I think other than that for content, I guess it's 2 minutes. I sort of felt like even after the first minute, I was kind of like, when's it going to get really good? And it got better in the second half. But
Mhm.
yeah, what do you think, Chris?
I think I was pretty compelled throughout, to be honest. Like there was like a new part that came in that was like a 4 and a 4 clap kind of poof poof poof. And I was like, that's cool. And then that nice reprieve at 120 is like, I was like, oh, that's cool too. So yeah, it was just like a nice little journey. But yeah, I agree with the swells. I think they overpowered everything. Didn't need to. Way too loud. Too bright.
Yeah.
The trancy synths, I loved the choices of them, and the melody, I wasn't too mad at it. Like I definitely thought it was like it took second to everything else that was going on, the chaos. I think that was the strength here. But um, yeah, that's my kind of content
You
take.
know, I will say on this note, because uh, DM Snowy, you said that like it's part of your style, like the sort of chaos. I must say, like we've listened to a lot of music and given a lot of feedback. Um, that's part of every amateur's style for the most part.
Damn, you
I mean,
used the A word.
seriously though, like there are a
Yeah,
lot of fucking people in electronic music that are quote chaotic because it's easier to just like add. It's much harder to distill and boil down to the fundamentals of something that's great. And once you can do that, you have that sort of restraint to like only keep in the parts that are really good and sort of lead your listeners along the journey towards chaos or towards energy and have both. That's usually a lot more like appealing. And it like generally the stuff that does well is more towards the simple side of the spectrum, the sort of beautiful simplicity side, where things are well chosen and curated. It's kind of like, do you want to have a store that carries like all sorts of like cheap like crap that like nobody wants most of it, or like a boutique that's just like really carefully like curated stuff that's like really good, or like another analogy like an art museum where it's like a bunch of paintings and some of them are like from like 5 year olds or just like from like random art students, or like a museum that's like only like the best painters and
oh
everyone's like,
god,
whoa, this is amazing. Aw.
oh god,
We
puppy
have another
attack,
guest.
puppy attack, help me.
Oh my
Send
god.
$5 in the chat to
Uh-oh.
help me.
Send the police.
The police, the puppy police, get
The
out of
puppy
here, Manu.
police.
All right,
Aw.
you got him.
So cute.
Yeah,
But anyways, that's just a little food for thought on content. It's really easy, I think, to say that like sort of self-justify and be like, oh well, I all my music is like this. But I think there's a reason why a lot of people's music is like that, because it's pretty easy to just like add a lot of stuff together. It's harder to make something really appealing and beautiful.
fair, fair, fair. Final
Um,
score, content.
for content, I think I will probably have to say like 69.
I was gonna say it too. 69, our favorite score.
Yup.
I'll say 75, but yeah,
Oh,
69 potential well. That means it's a 69
it's close enough.
between green and yellow. Yes, yes, sir.
Nice.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to like here, but yeah, there's some stuff to change. Production.
Yeah, and then production, the main thing is with like the levels, especially that those risers or whatever you want to call it at the beginning. I think for the most part, otherwise, it's like pretty well mixed.
Yeah,
Like a nice,
except for that EQ hole too.
yeah. There's a bit of that mid scoop thing, which again, there's a lot of important information in that the low mids and mids, the fundamental frequencies.
Yeah. Yep.
So I would definitely want to look into that if I were you.
Yep. 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 Um, Yeah, I think I agree with that wholeheartedly on production. I think I'll give you some flowers too. I think a lot of the production sounded really good. The drums I think sounded fantastic as well. So yeah, good on you. Production score, I think I'm at 86 between green and yellow. What about you?
Yeah, I think I could say 80. I think like probably mastering would help a little bit to just like glue things together and make them extra like the kick extra fat.
Yeah,
Um,
actually the whole I forgot about that. 80.
yeah,
Yeah, the hole's a pretty big issue.
and just the beginning thing with the levels.
Swells.
That's the swells. Yeah, but
Yeah.
otherwise, yeah, I think it's pretty good on production.
Yeet, track total?
Um, I think fuck, what did I say before? Probably overall, I would give this like a 75, maybe.
Yeah. I'm at 77, I think. Or I'm at 80. I'll put it at 80. I do like this a lot, actually. But yeah, there's some stuff to fix. Uh, Shout out to you, DM Snowy, all the way from Chile. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
There's 8 people in the chat, Josh. So before we get to the last song, shout out to For Us Music. Let us tell you a little bit about what FastTrack actually is. Yours?
Yes. So yeah, I mean, we've been doing this stream for a bit. We try to give you guys as detailed feedback as we possibly can, and hopefully it's helpful. Apparently, it's a little different from a lot of the streams out there, but our mission is to help you get detailed feedback from people in the industry with expertise. So we're building a platform, a web platform called FastTrack. FastTrack.
Ye-
That is kind of a two-sided marketplace to connect with industry professionals, music industry professionals that have experience in mixing, mastering, songwriting, album art, promotion, the whole sort of chain of releasing music. And our goal is to connect you with them so they can give you feedback in a very visual, sort of archivable way. And there will be other features too to sort of just make your entire workflow with making music easier and getting feedback and iterating. But yeah, that's what we've been building, and we'd love to have you be one of our first users. We've got a link in the chat. That's fasttrack.studio. You can also just type that into your browser, and you can sign up to be one of our very first test users and tell us what's good and what's not and what you want to see. And you can influence the features that we build as well. So
Sign up, sign up, sign up. Do it
yeah,
now.
we're super excited for that. Please sign up. It's free to sign up, of course.
The reviews are in. For us says, shoot, that's really cool. Better sign up.
Reviews are
Yeah.
in.
We had that two-sided marketplace allow you to get the feedback from the pros, and the feedback form will be revolutionary to say
And
the least.
just
And
to
there's
have a
some project
place.
management for your tracks.
Yeah, like if you
There's
have
some
people you work
collaborator stuff as
with,
well. But
yeah,
yeah,
to be able to invite collaborators and share your projects and all that kind of stuff. Keep
yeah.
track of different versions and
It'll write the song for you. It'll push the song out to Spotify for you. It'll give you. I'm just kidding.
it'll give you a hundred
That's not.
thousand followers
Yeah, yeah,
instantly.
yeah. Some of that stuff's not there. Wait, are we still
Yes.
getting feedback tonight, or do we have to donate? So,
De
De
Niro,
Niro, you might have been out, but we have one more spot for it, and it was up for grabs for tip, and For Us grabbed that tip spot.
yeah. We have three
So
more free submissions, including yours. And yes, for us, just grab the last spot. We have only a few more minutes left today.
so
But we'll
you will
be
be next
back
week.
next Friday at 5:30 Central Time.
Yeah,
So we get to every free submission that we get as well.
yeah, we'll get to you. We'll get to you. Sorry about that, but
Yes.
For us, that's how the big money world works, man. They got it. So, without
Uh-oh.
further ado, what's up?
Oh, yeah, we got
Damn, joined too late
for
then.
us
Yes.
is
Don't worry,
okay.
man. We'll get to you next week. Don't worry. Don't worry. You'll
Yes.
be second in the queue, I think. So we should be able to get to you, unless everybody comes in and starts dropping fives. But
Yeah, it doesn't usually happen.
it has happened before. But yeah, you should be good. You should
Once or
be good.
twice.
Yeah. But
Yes.
anyways, without further ado, let's get to For Us over here.
Let's do this.
Ramses B is a big artist. Pirate King featuring Eerie Forest remix.
Old
Okay, so
National
it's a
Bank
remix
is
finished
asking.
release. There's a remix of Ramses B and Eerie's track called Pirate King featured on Monster Cat about 3 weeks ago ish. This remix submission for Pirate King remix contest ends about 2 weeks. Okay. So there's a remix contest, Josh. We got to help this guy win.
Oh shit.
2 weeks early with this. You said it's a finished release though. Is it done? The original genre is called drum and bass. Yep, we get it. I turned it into liquid. Wait, this is a long description here, which we like. It's okay. I turned it into liquid drum and bass. The song itself is inspired by One Piece. Yes.
Nice.
Shout out One Piece fans in the chat. Put in your Mugiwaras. Put in your straw hats. We love it here. Are you a fan of it as well? For us, let me know. But you ready, Josh?
Yep, let's do it.
Okay, One Piece. 3, 2. Wait, I'm not ready yet. One Piece. 3, 2, 1.
It's a loud thing at the beginning. You know, the waveform. A lot of reverb on that beat. hear her evoke herself.
Oh, I like the piano here. I think I would have liked this melodic earlier. Boom.
Whew,
Boom. That's the end. A lot less One Piece than I thought there was going to be in there,
that was
if
a
any.
lot of pieces.
Yeah, yeah. There's definitely more than One Piece, that's for sure. But yeah, I'd have to see what that original song is. How was it inspired by One Piece? I wonder. But yeah, that was a very cool listen. Some Liquid here. It is a little bright for Liquid, as Josh was saying, but there's some stuff to like there. What do you have for first impressions vibes, Josh?
Yeah, I mean, I think like there's some stuff that I like sonically, and it's got good energy. It's got a lot of energy. Um, I mean, the main like feedback I guess stuff that I can offer is there's again like a lot of high frequency content.
Yep,
Um,
Mos says so too.
as you said, yeah. Also the vocal chops like that does have a lot of high frequency in it. I think it's okay for it to be sort of telephone like bandpass like that.
Hmm.
But it really does have a lot of high end, and there's just other stuff like it sounded like
Hi
there were
hat.
some things that were maybe like panning back and forth that were pretty bright.
Hmm.
Just like again, it's the same thing like I predicted it. Like there is a lot of electronic music that gravitates towards being busy because of how easy it is to keep adding layers.
Hmm.
Um, and that also leads to a lot of high end buildup because you're dealing with like basically produced samples that already have a lot of high end usually, especially when they're like riser like transition stuff. Like you're like I need to add more transitions and risers because that's like what the pros do. But when that stuff plays throughout the entire song and it never kind of lets up, you can easily run into like crowding issues and a lot of high end frequency fatigue, that kind of stuff. So that's I think that's like my biggest takeaway is just like really be scrutinous about what you keep and what you don't. Like what's just like distracting and what that can just be muted. And then like what happens like once that's gone is like, oh shit, this is actually simpler now. And I might just need something that doesn't play throughout like a little transition riser to fill the space instead of a thing that's going the whole time. It's those kind of like mixed decisions that or production decisions that really just can make a much more enticing end product. Not feeling like you have to put everything, like throw everything at the wall. I guess that's my main like high level feedback. What do you think?
Hmm. So I was re-listening to it again, just because the biggest thing for me was that, and I guess a little bit goes to what you're saying about just things being busy and what do you want us to focus on. When that first, I guess the main melody comes in, where it's like do 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 do, this like triplet bass thing, uh, everything drops out. That comes in, and then the vocal comes in as well. But the vocal is like not doing any sort of kind of swing triplet thing or whatever. It's almost like a delayed delivery of like eighth note style, and I feel like it just does not mix well with the main melody here.
I felt like it was a little bit random.
Yeah, um, which they might be okay in the same song, just not playing at the same time. But like that first, like everything drops out. It's like Liquid DMB, whatever, blah blah blah, it drops out. You introduce the two melodic themes here, and they don't go together. Um, and that would be like a quick turn off. For a listener, it was a quick turn off for me. I was like, oh wait, this. I thought it was wrong. Like I thought it was like something was off the grid, or it felt like it skipped a beat.
Yeah.
Um, but listening back again, I understand what happened now. But like you don't want that in people's kind of first listen through, especially if it's a remix contest, right? You're trying to get the top spot here. Um, there's stuff that I liked. Some of the stuff that you put in, like One Piece. A lot of the uh, instrumentation is orchestral, and so I think that's why you did the orchestral breakdown there. I just felt like I wasn't convinced by it. I think um, the instruments kind of felt I don't, for lack of a better word right now, just like half effort, half assed. Like I wanted you to go like further with that orchestral theme if you're gonna put it in there, not just like an orchestral drum hit here with like no big strings or anything like that.
Even like the lead, that little lead part, which came back in at the end, like I liked like the instrument. I think was decent. It sounded to me, this could be wrong, but like at the beginning, the lead part had like a ton of reverb on it that
Yep.
was kind of like a little too noticeable. Like it was
Mm.
above the like sort of threshold of like I am really focusing on the reverb versus like, oh, maybe this is a really ethereal reverb that's supposed to be sort of noticed. It was just kind of like a little bit too much maybe. And then at the end, like the melody was okay, it made sense musically, but again, like the sort of motifness of it, the structure, the like harmonic rhythm felt not quite dialed in. Like it was sort of like some of the lines were like do 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 do, and some of them were like do do like not quite uniform. And so it just melody at the end felt a little bit too improvised. Like it didn't quite sound like it was a well written like melodic motif. So there's just like certain small details like that, and then also like um, I think similar to what you're talking about, there were sections where the drums like drop out, but only for like one bar, I think, or maybe it was like a half bar, depending on what tempo you're at. And like I was expecting it to tame down a little bit for that section because it sounded like that's where it was going, but the drums only paused for one bar, and then they came back in. It was like, oh fuck, we're like doing this same beat the whole time. It
Kind of the Liquid D&B style.
Yeah, maybe, but or maybe it needs more like drama or something around that dropout. But it sounded like a mistake a little bit. It was like, okay, the drums are gone, and then oh, we forgot that we actually want to keep going with them in this section. Versus like even if you
Yeah.
had just kept them out for like another bar or something to give more of a gap, more suspense, and then bring them in with some sort of fill or something, would be
Mhm.
more eventful than just like they end and then it goes into a section that sounds like it could be a little bit softer and warmer, but then they just come back in. It's like, ah, fuck it, we'll just bring them back in. So yeah, it's like small details like that that really add up. That if you ignore them all over the place, they add up, and you end up with something that just doesn't feel very organized. It feels like things are clashing and are busy and are not well thought out.
Mhm.
Sort of.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, I see there's more feedback happening in the chat here.
Yeah. Shout out Muzz G. Yeah, I think I agree with him. Her, I don't know, Muzz G. Let's just use names. Muzz G. I think I agree with Muzz G a little bit when they say that they like the drums and bass parts. I think you have a good foundation for it, but there's just like some extra stuff like dropouts and switch ups with it. I think in general the drum and bass pattern itself, you say it's liquid, but it does sound very bright. And in the name liquid itself, I imagine it's a little bit more darker, a little bit smoother.
It's
And you
more
could
like
probably play with that with those sections that are supposed to be a little bit low key, like um, maybe or what is it? Yeah, low past the hi hat a little bit. Don't make it so bright and front and center when it's the same pattern over and over again. It's just supposed to be a backbone at that
yeah.
point, and we're supposed to listen to like the main melody that's happening. So that could be like a subtle way to vary it and keep things interesting and keep things in focus, especially in a very busy song. So yeah, but I think you have a good foundation for it. Like we hopped into the criticism a lot, but yeah, I think you do have a nice foundation. And when the drop hits, it's like feels nice and expansive. There's a lot of things going on, and it grooves pretty well. But yeah, um, we had to give some critical feedback. You have 2 weeks, so if you plan on making changes, we definitely want to help out. That's why you're here,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
But
definitely.
yeah, do you have anything else for vibes and a score?
I think score. I'd probably say I'd probably say like 65 or 70.
I'm right there too, 65 or 70, which means
69.
69. Yes, sir. Our favorite score here, between green and yellow. Content, what do
Yes.
you have?
Yeah, then
Buzz G
like
gives the vibes green. Shouts out.
nice. Yeah, and then I think for like content, again, we kind of talked about it already, but it's just being like extra careful about what you prioritize, what you choose to leave in, and what you don't. Making sure that there aren't things that are distracting from the sort of from the juice. Like if there's stuff that's detracting, get rid of it because then your total like sort of score will be higher, right? If
Mhm.
there are negatives, get rid of them. And yeah, other than that, I mean, it's pretty much just like making sure your sounds aren't too harsh, and not overcrowding. That's my main content stuff, I think.
I would agree.
And also just like some of the choices around like content is also like writing, like making sure your melodies are like structurally sound, like have like good logic to them, and are just aren't like random,
Mhm.
and are needed. Making sure they're not clashing with other melodic elements or similar
Yes.
frequency range elements.
That's
Um,
the thing, right? Like that comment I had about the melody, the main melody and the vocal not mixing, I think by themselves they're decent melodies. It's just like they don't work together, you
mhm,
know? So that's
yeah.
like a content point, but
Yeah.
sorry, I interrupted you.
And the other thing is just that your sections make sense and that you like maybe with liquid D&B the idea is that it's the same energy level the whole time. And if that's what it
No, no,
is,
there definitely should be little drops off there.
that's what I thought. Like there should be some points where you give a little bit of reprise, right? Where it's just like it comes down a little bit in energy because then when you come back up, it like gives another burst of drama
Yeah.
and energy. And if you don't have that the whole time, it just gets boring.
Mhm.
So like ironically, like if you want to have more energy in your like track as a total, usually having a at least one lower energy section gives
Mhm.
the impression of more energy,
Yep, that
because it's
dynamics, baby.
surprise. Yeah, it's dynamics and it's surprise and it's change, and that's like what is exciting.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's the main thing. Like if those sections where you cut the drums out, either do it for a little longer or in more dramatic fashion somehow. Like maybe not only cutting the drums out, but also some of the other crap that's just like going the whole damn time. Like cut that stuff out for a bar or two, and then come back in, and you'll have some of that drama. You'll
Mhm.
have some of the contrast. But if you don't do that, and you're just like, I'll just stop the drums for a bar, it
Mhm.
sounds like there was a mistake made because it's like
Right.
it's almost like the whole band is playing still, but then like just the drummer like stops for a bar and then comes back in. It's like, oh, he forgot he was supposed to be playing in this section. It's like that kind of vibe.
Right. I mean, and it's like or when, like, jazz people play and, like, when the like, a different person starts to solo, like, the band will go quieter. Like
Yeah, exactly.
with Liquid D&B, and I agree with Muzz G, like, he's saying it's a proper Liquid D&B track. Like, it's definitely I would put it there, like, he hit the genre well. It's all about gluing the elements together, mixing-wise. We get it, we get it. Yeah, Liquid's supposed to be nice and smooth. Um so, the dropouts is one like strategy to create that drama, but like Josh says, it can be very abrupt and it could sound like it's even wrong. So, I mean, yeah, like I would say if you're having like a lower energy part, like for me, D&B, it's all about keeping the groove going. So that's why the drums are usually always going. But yeah, turn down the energy somehow by changing the timbre, making it sound darker by rolling off the highs a little bit or
Yeah.
scaling back the hi hats or,
You can have the drums going the whole time, but it can be like you can
different.
have
Yeah.
like a different set of hats that are like brighter and louder that come in like the loud parts, and then like quieter like I can't do
Yeah.
sixteenths with my mouth, but like something like that, and a snare. Like you can still have all the elements going in the rhythmic part, but like the velocities of the hits can be quieter, and if you have a
Yeah.
good like sample kit or whatever, then it'll sound like it's being played quieter. So stuff like that.
You it sounds like we're in production at this point. But content, overall score, what do you have?
Yeah, I think for content, this is probably the weakest part. Well, I don't know. Like we said, it aligns in a lot of ways with the genre, but it's
Mhm.
really about like paring it down, making it simpler, removing excess stuff that's detracting,
Mhm.
and being like making sure there's logic behind your structural decisions and your like
Yeah.
melodic decisions. So I think given all of that, I'd probably say this is at like a 60% for me between yellow and green.
That's what I was thinking too. I think production is the better of the two. I think the content is the thing that needs the more work.
Yeah, I
But
agree.
yeah, production, what do you have?
Yeah, and then production again, it's mostly about the brightness, and I think that can be solved with a lot of the arrangement stuff and like removing high end elements that aren't needed. Uh, yeah, but that's the main thing here. I think it is a little loud. Oh, that beginning thing, that was a big volume no. It just it was an immediate shock, and I had to turn down like immediately because and you can see it in the waveform. It's like actually the loudest part I think right at the beginning there. So
Yeah, unfortunately, I was listening to songs quieter volume before, so then I didn't experience that. But take his word.
at quieter volume.
Yeah, like during the last track when you were like talking,
Oh,
I was
I
I was
turned it
trying to
back
find a
up
second.
so our vocals sounded normal, like the normal level we usually use.
Yep, yep, yep.
And then it was like, oh shit. So
Mm-mm.
just yeah, being careful with again like level setting. It's like sort of a psychology thing, making sure that the level at the beginning isn't going to be jarring relative to other stuff people are listening to, and also is like appropriate for the level of your track.
Mm-mm.
Um, yeah, so that's the main production comments I guess that I have. You have
My
anything else?
mix is hecka loud, so I'll look back to it. It didn't seem loud on the whole, but just the beginning, like literally, you hit us with the loudest part of the track. Like you could see it in the waveform. Like that's gonna shock anybody, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, um, yeah, I don't think the loudness I don't think it was too squashed or anything like that. So,
Hmm.
um, yeah, I think production's pretty solid. Uh, I would say for me, production is at like an 82 between green and yellow. What about you?
Um, yeah, I think I'll probably say 75 between yellow and green.
Overall,
Um, overall, I think I will say 69.
69. I'll give him a 72, but we all know the potential well here. It's like 75 to 65. It goes to 69 automatically for me.
Yes.
So for us, know that I gave you a 72 overall. Shout out to One Piece fans. We love you. But 69, that potential well, whoo, like gravity. It's just too strong. But yeah,
Isn't
thank you
that called
for
like
the submission.
a basin of attraction or something?
Something like that.
There's
Yeah.
another yeah
I'll call it a
science.
potential well. Yeah. A
Oh
potential
yeah,
well.
interesting.
But yes, haha, sounds good to me. Yeah, if you yeah, shouts out to you. Thank you for the tip as well. We appreciate it. If you make changes to this, feel free to submit it to us again if you want more of our feedback. Good luck in the competition. And yeah, shout out. Can't wait for One Piece chapter coming out. What 3 weeks from now? But yeah,
Hmm.
anyways, well,
Dope.
I think that's it.
Sweet. Well, yeah. Again,
Shout
thanks
out
for
Muzz G.
yeah. Shout out Musji. You'll be up first next week,
Ye-
and thank you to everyone else who submitted. Thanks for us music. By the way, just the whole idea here is hopefully we can be helpful in helping you guys make the best music possible, and being successful with it. And sometimes we have to give relatively harsh feedback, but that's just how it goes.
Yeah, Josh is
So.
going in today, bro. He used the A word, amateur. Damn.
Yeah, it's a fun
Hey,
word.
hey, I guess you're not pro, so what else is there? But yeah, it's okay. Everybody's everybody.
Yeah, but no, we love hearing the range that we get and just hearing what people are working on. And obviously, when we hear you come back and improve on stuff, that's always super exciting too. So please feel free to follow us on Twitch so you know when we go live, and you can find us again to resubmit later. Again, we're here every Friday from 5:30 to 7:30 Central, and we've got a platform that we're building to help you get feedback from other people that aren't just us. Again, with like deep industry expertise, somebody who's experienced in your genre and the area that you're looking feedback for in. That link is in the chat. It's fasttrack.studio. So again, you want to sign up to be a user, one of our first users on the platform, get feedback from professionals, and eventually all sorts of workflow features for helping you make music and connecting with others,
Project
collaborators.
management.
Yes, should make your life easier. Then yeah, go to
Yay.
fasttrack.studio and sign up for free.
Yay.
Other than that, make sure to follow us on Instagram up there if you want to check out our updates, which will include when we go live with the platform.
Yay.
And also join our Discord if you want to chat with like minded folks
Yay.
that make music. So, yeah, I think that's it for today. You got anything else, Chris?
Yes, I do. Forest Music. I appreciate your attitude. Actually, no, you guys are awesome because it's really hard to get feedback for something. I'm keep painting in. So it sounds like you're gonna do it again, bruh. If it's for a One Piece competition, like give us some One Piece stuff. Like give us like One Piece fans are craving for something. Like I didn't hear any One Piece in there except for like maybe the orchestral stuff. Just like a tip. And no, I'm not from Hawaii, but I get that a lot. I'm
That's
from
funny.
Okinawa, Japan. It's the Hawaii of Japan. So
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
and I'm wearing a Hawaii shirt. But anyways, that's it. That's all I got. Sign up for the platform. We're working on it. We're working hard. and
Yes,
I'm excited
indeed.
for it as an artist. So
Oh yeah, very excited.
cool.
Cool. All right. Thanks,
Get the
everyone.
fuck out of here. It's hot as shit, man.
Yeah, I
I had to
know.
stand up because my butt's sweating. Happy Friday,
Yeah.
everybody.
Sweet. Happy Friday. Have a good weekend, and we will see you soon. Peace.
Later. Shouts out.